Last month, our CFO, Sean Huesmo, stood in front of 120 SARRC staff and got choked up while talking about his daughter, Ashley, who graduated from SARRC's community school 4 years ago. Yet Ashley, now 9 years old, does not have autism. In fact, more than half the students in our inclusive preschool are typically developing. But Ashley did struggle articulating certain speech sounds, something our community school designed a teaching strategy to address. And within a few months, Ashley was speaking clearly. Sean and his wife, Melissa, couldn't believe how lucky they were to have enrolled their daughter in a preschool with this kind of specialized expertise. But that's not why Sean got choked up. At one of Ashley's recent gymnastics classes, there was a new student who had isolated herself from the other kids. She didn't speak, flapped her hands, and wasn't following along with the class. And it was Ashley who took the initiative to help. When her mom asked about it on the car ride home, Ashley shrugged it off and simply stated, "She reminded me of my friends at SARRC." That's when Sean got choked up. Sean and Melissa were certain that the single greatest gift they had received from the community school was addressing Ashley's speech challenges. But that pales in comparison to the lasting impact autism has had on their daughter's initiative to be kind and helpful to others. For 20 years, SARRC has demonstrated the potential of individuals with autism supported by an inclusive community. But stories like Ashley's are teaching us that SARRC's programs can empower ordinary people to do extraordinary things that in turn create a collateral impact, exponentially extending our reach. Ashley is on her way to becoming a revolutionist, someone who not only contributes to our cause, but also helps us build a more supportive community. Who knows how many other peers, parents, or teachers she influenced that afternoon? Consider the people she'll influence in her lifetime. I am so humbled by the many revolutionists SARRC has had over our first 20 years, beginning with our visionary co-founders, Denise Resnick and Ron Melmud. Certainly the SARRC team, past and present, are revolutionists, tenaciously driving outcomes that deliver hope. How about our breakfast chairwoman and revolutionist, Kathy Bosco? Who created SARRC's Grandparents Group? Or Neil and Lynn Balter, revolutionists who more than 12 years ago engaged their entire network of friends after their son was diagnosed, 400 of whom continue to volunteer at our walk each and every year. There's Patty Dion, revolutionist who insists that we think Asperger's so that people like her son no longer go undetected or misdiagnosed. And where would we be without Matt McMahon, revolutionist who 10 years ago committed to hiring at least one person with autism in each of his 24 restaurants, influencing more than 33 SARRC employment partners across 64 locations today. There are so many more revolutionists, ordinary people doing extraordinary things, big and small, each and every day, who have contributed to SARRC's evolution and autism in this community's revolution. And just as important are the revolutionists we'll need to achieve our vision for SARRC's next 20 years. A supportive community fortified with the resources to identify, treat, and integrate individuals with autism of all ages. Here are 4 ways we will redefine the status quo and realize our vision. First, SARRC will lower the average age of diagnosis in Arizona. Research clearly suggests that early intervention is associated with optimal outcomes, and conversely, that children who are nonverbal at age 5 are less likely to learn to talk. At SARRC, we're working with children as young as 6 months, yet the average age of diagnosis in our state is still 4 years, 7 months. Just over 2 years ago, our research team created a network of 110 pediatricians who screen every child in their practice beginning at 12 months, then refer any child showing signs of autism to SARRC for a free evaluation. Since January of 2015, we've screened over 35,000 babies for autism. We need to go from 110 to all 670 pediatricians in Arizona, revolutionizing the 12-month well baby exam by requiring universal screening for autism and immediate referral for diagnostic evaluation. Arizona will lead the nation in lowest average age of diagnosis and earliest start to intervention, becoming the model for other states to follow. Second, individuals with autism will have access to high-quality, evidence-based treatments across the lifespan. There is no doubt that SARRC's talented, committed clinical team is among the very best in the world, but we can't do it alone. At 1 in 66 children diagnosed with autism in Arizona, and nationally, 50,000 teens transitioning to adulthood every year, too many families are struggling with endless wait lists and a shortage of highly trained providers. To maximize our impact then, SARRC will leverage our programs in 2 ways. First, we'll invest in technology. In addition to our Think Asperger's app, later this year we'll be testing Jumpstart Online, e-learning modules of our flagship program, eventually making them available to anyone, anywhere, at any time. Second, SARRC will partner with other autism providers committed to effective practices and best possible outcomes who wish to implement SARRC's programs. Thus, we'll develop and incubate our programs for the purposes of accelerated growth through widespread replication, just as we've done with our teen program, CommunityWorks, now operating nationwide in Canada. Imagine if families, without ever walking through our doors, could access SARRC programs implemented with fidelity by other autism providers across the valley, throughout the state, and internationally. Third, our community will become our most powerful classroom. Many families are unable to go out to eat at a restaurant, see a movie, or sign their child up for soccer because of their child's challenging behaviors. And for adults, we know it's often the social skills, not the work skills, that lead to the alarmingly high rates of unemployment. Community acceptance is critical, but so is developing the appropriate skills to enter the community. While autism-friendly nights and special leagues can be beneficial, we can go even further and teach people with autism to eat out at their favorite restaurant, to see a movie any day of the week, or to even score a goal. And we know we can teach adults with autism to work, as 75% of the adults we served are competitively employed. All we need is the opportunity to practice in the crowded restaurant, make frequent visits to the movie theater, provide support on the soccer field, and create a visual schedule of on-the-job tasks. Together, we'll transform our community into a teaching classroom always open for instruction. Finally, SARRC will demonstrate that autism can become a catalyst for building a better community. As a research center, we are obsessed with data, measurement, outcomes. But wouldn't it be cool if we could quantify the positive impact, socially and economically, that autism is having on everyone else? It's the typically developing students in our preschool making up to 18 months progress in their language development in a 10-month school year. It's the nearly 400 employees and 1.3 million annual visitors to our Beneficial Beans cafes served by our adult interns. It's Pete's Coffee at Sky Harbor Airport Terminal 4, whose second best-selling product is Smile Biscotti. And it's SSP America, who tell us that their employees are proud to work for a company that gives adults with autism the opportunity to succeed, and that our partnership is, quote, a win for the employees, a win for SSP America, and a win for our community. We need to capture all the ways that our community is not only supporting people with autism, but also gaining value from doing so. In order to achieve our vision by SARRC's 40th anniversary, we need the next revolutionists, ordinary people doing extraordinary things, to step forward. Any of you can convince your pediatrician to begin universal screening for autism. Let the league know when you sign up to coach that you're happy to have a child with autism on your team. Become an employment partner. Schedule your next meeting at one of our 2 Beneficial Beans cafes. Tell your school about our Think Asperger's app. And when somebody asks you why you're doing these things, simply shrug your shoulders and state, I'm doing them for my friends at SARRC. Thank you.